We are going to do the preparation and inspection of the cylinder block. This is the lower end of the cylinder block. This is the area where the sump attaches itself to the lower end of the cylinder block. One of the things that we make sure is that there's no contaminants on here, that the surface is clean and that the surface is level and that there's no old gasket that is still adhering to the surface. What you do is take a steel rule, place it on the surface and check if there's any gap in between. If there's a gap, take your feeler gauge and place it in between and see whether it's within the specs of the original equipment manufacturer, so that you know that the surface is usable. If it is out of spec, it means to say that the lower end of the surface of the cylinder block needs to go to the engineering shop. We need to check the block's main bearing journal, and it's this surface area here, whether there's any scratches inside here. It could have happened because of a spun bearing. And look at the indentation here. If that is still in place, we have a look at then the oil area where make sure that the oil galley is clean on each of the main bearings, as you can have a look over there, as well as we go down to that one there, as well as to that one over there and there. And then we have other oil galleys. In that vicinity there is one, and so you carry on with the rest that is on other blocks all along in the block, that all the oil will pour down back into the sump. Then we're going to look at the sleeve. This is the sleeve area. You're going to look down the sleeve and see if you can determine if there's any cracks down the sleeve, and that you'll do for each of the cylinder sleeves. It's actually called cylinder liners, because as you can see there's a difference between the block and this surface here is the cylinder liner. If the vehicle comes with oil sprayers, these are these little things here. Some of them are bolted fast, others are a pushing type like this one. Make sure that those holes are clean and that the sprayer itself, this end of the sprayer, that this areas are cleaned. They must not be dented at all, else it will not seat properly within the sprayer. This is the oil sprayer's bottom end. What you need to do is you can use some thread locker. However, make sure that it does not come to the tip here, this end, the thread locker. I would advise about 2 millimeters from the edge. You can just put a smear a little bit of thread locker evenly around the side, and then what you then just basically do is then to take the oil sprayer, and you have to have remembered the orientation thereof. Prior to you removing it, and then you just wiggle it in, just like that. And make sure that it sits right to the bottom. You will see that some of the excess thread locker will be starting to come out, and what you just can basically just do is just to take the rag and then just to clean of this excess thread locker, because you do not want any of this actually to fall in any of your oil or to contaminate whatsoever your lower end of any of your vehicle's things. So that we will do now. I want to reiterate that just make sure that these oil sprayers, after a day you have left them like this with the thread locker sealed here, that they do not come loose. If a sprayer does come loose, you are going to lose oil pressure on the top end. That will be mostly on the cylinder head, on your cams and things that needs lubrication, because most of the oil will then squirt out and this oil sprayer will be then laying in your sump. Next, you have to make sure that all the threads are re-tapped just to clean it out. You should not struggle to tap them because they are already fine. Have a look at the old bolts if they need a replacement, because that's very important, else you will have problems later on with the assembly, especially looking at your main bearing cap bolts, all of them, as well as the threads. Make sure they are clean. Make sure that the front end surfaces of the block is also cleaned, as we have discussed with the lower end. Your threads all cleaned up and tapped again. Looking at the Welsh plugs, replace the Welsh plugs, as they could be corroded. They can look nice and shiny on the outside, but they can be corroded well on the inside. Make sure that the surfaces of the front end, where there's a timing chain cover or any other components that needs to be attached, that the surfaces is level, and by, like we have done before at the bottom of the sump end, that you can make sure that it's within spec by using a straight edge or a steel rule and bringing it across the surfaces like this. When you have removed many of the gaskets and you want to start scouring the place, make use of a straight scouring block, something similar to this, so that you do not, and make sure that you do not take too much metal off, else you can cause problems later, especially on the surface of the cylinder block. A blade can also be used when you want to remove old gasket, a piece of old gasket or oil, to scrape it off with a utility knife blade. This is on the other side of the engine block. This area here, this one, for this engine, specific engine, this is where your oil filter housing will fit on, and there's one of the release mechanisms for pressure. That is, when it's a bit too high, it will release some pressure here. For this engine, there's an oil galley going down here, and this is where its oil pressure relief valve is. Now, this is a very important component when it comes to your oil pressure. As your oil pressure is building up in the vehicle, it reaches a certain pressure and high pressure, and then this valve, it's got a spring inside here. The pressure pushes this spring here at the back. There's a little piston to the back, and there's a spring, pushes it to the back, and it opens up, and that hose, if you can see there, goes down back into the block, the bottom of the block, and into the sump. If you're having high oil pressure, your gauge, if you're having a pressure gauge in your vehicle, it will show that the pressure is maybe abnormally high. It will cause that it will blow off gasket seals and things like that, and that can cause later on huge damage to your vehicle if not noticed earlier. On some vehicles, the oil pressure relief valve is fitted onto the housing by means of either a bolt or an Allen key or even a Torx type of bit that will be required to open it up, and it also has a spring component as a one-way valve. It's basically the same as the working is basically the same like I showed you. Make sure that it's clean so that it can operate effectively. Make sure that all the Welch plugs, all of them on the whole block as well on the cylinder head, they're all replaced. As I've earlier mentioned, they might be corroded on the inside. The engine block deck, this is where the cylinder head will attach itself to the engine block. You have to make sure that the surfaces are straight by using your straight rule, by placing it in this direction like this, then placing it like that, and checking the gaps in between the contact surfaces between the straight edge or your ruler as well as the deck, by using a feeler gauge to see whether it's within the specs. Then you will move it across as well as this and measure it and move it from this end slowly across without scratching the surface, and then physically looking from this end to that end. You will then swap it around in the other diagonally across, and then you will start from this end there, from that side there, and then you will start moving your ruler across like that and check if there's any gap in between. Like I said, if there's any gap, you have to go look on the manufacturer's specifications with regards to the gap that is allowed between the cylinder head surface and that of the engine block's contact surfaces. Normally, when you have removed the engine, you will find out that you will normally have a ridge depending on where the top ring of the piston has come. It's basically somewhere in this area, but you will see it when you have removed the engine for the first time and took out the pistons. That ridge must be removed with a ridge tool so that the surfaces from the bottom right up is then basically even. You also have to take a bore gauge and measure at 3 different, from basically nearly approximately about the measurements at that different positions there, and see if you are within the specifications if your bore has not been tapered or funnel shaped. If the bore is funnel shaped or tapered, you will, if it's not within the specifications, you will have to either send that then to the engineering shop definitely, so that they can do the necessary work that is required. Next, we make sure that all the water ports are clean. What you can do is using a reaming tool, but not on a drill or something, and then just slightly smaller than the current size diameter of your water ports, and then just to ream it slightly clean, and by doing it by hand to get all the gunk as well as the corrosion if there was no coolant used in this block. And then you go thereafter you'll have a look at the threads. Again, clean out the threads here where the cylinder head bolts will all go in. You ensure that you use new cylinder head bolts as when you are going to assemble the block onto a cylinder head block onto the block, and that there's no blockage thereof, and you do so with the rest of all the water ports. What you then also do is you have a look at all the threads that is in the block, and that is by means of cleaning it out with air and using a tap, and just to lightly go and retap those bolts without any force. I say again, those threads without any force. Just remember, the bolts must all be replaced, as the new modern bolts are more stretch to yield bolts. That's meant to say You have to make sure that you torque those bolts in the proper sequence as the manufacturer specifies, and they will go then into the plastic region, and that's why the bolts cannot be used again when you disassemble any block. You cannot use those bolts again. Upon your inspection, if you find any cracks in between the cylinders as well as between a oil port and a water port, the best thing is just get rid of that block and get yourself another block. There's no use that you actually want to have it repaired, because you do not know how deep that crack is inside, and it will just give you a lot of problems in the future. So best advice is just get rid of it and get yourself another one, and voila, we have completed the inspection and the preparation of the engine block.